Peace and blessings. This is Mr. Westbrooks, educator, astronumerologist, and co-host of Unread Book Review with Nick and Rue. Let me put y'all up on this new ebook series that's here to educate our people of all ages, especially the youth, about our collective power, both historically, presently, and beyond. Voices of the Diaspora, written by Knowledge Born Allah, is unique in that it takes the traditional e-reading experience and infuses it with audio recordings, revolutionary songs, and revolutionary music videos. Some of the topics include stories about Black entrepreneurs, stories about Black women who have shaped our world, and stories of Black innovators who've impacted the field of STEAM, plus much more. If you want to know more about this series and what it has to offer, check out our unread episode featuring Knowledge Born Allah, who was also the founder and host of Do the Knowledge Radio. After the interview, go log on to dotheknowledgeradio.com so you can get your copy of Voices of the Diaspora so that you, your family, your community, and your world can be inspired by the stories of visionaries shaping our future and honoring our past. Thank you in advance for your support and continue striving to be the best version of yourself. Peace.
Descending from Nubia, Benjas, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas, so I'm Africa. Ancient descending from Nubia, Benjas, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas. You slow down 2 feet, pedal them bike slow. They speed by 1 with 2 feet and then strike unicycle. Papa wheelie is on stealing again, but it's a sun charge for the Benjas. I'm on raw. Ancestors, lessons with my crystals and diamonds. Wicked ones came with resources, switch them where to find them. Vampire seeking their teeth and thinking we don't mind them. Still boy, we not just mama Africa dry. No boy, cause I'm Africa. Ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas, so I'm Africa. Ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas.
Hitler knew something that we're just waking up to. The Europeans in Israel are the fake Jews. The very ones who enslaved, beat, and raped you had an agenda, and Hitler knew it, so he tried to bake you. Muammar Gaddafi, he was killed by the Clintons. North and South America both stormed by the Britons, or British, with intentions to stop the conquest of the Portuguese, the Spaniards, and the French. Is indigenous to every land, black gold in every hand, black souls that's willing to send you all to the medic band. Reppin' for my brethren, ancestors to every fan. Legend has it guided to more to you than the metal can. 400 years neglected and put into the peasants' hands. The parasite, troglodyte, Edomite, lesser than. Use books as a weapon and spiritual oppression, and taught us self-division so we never will come together, and we African.
I'm Africa. Ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas, so I'm Africa. Ancient descendant from Nubia. Avengers. Whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we say go and come Avengers.
The new normal is now the present, what we knew is the past. It's realer than fact, and one I pray we mentally grasp. It's evident the signs are everywhere, clearer than glass. Don't get left behind to live in the past. Better beware the soul robbers out, lurking and they stealing them fast. You look empty, I'm trying to fill you with gas before they fill you with cap and find your wig split, slumped in your lap, forced a nap, cause you were living in cap. Don't let that IG fool you, hijack your mind and turn YouTube you, or let the media sadly buffoon you. It's the world we live in, that's what they say, while the search still spins. Impress to God, don't decrease our sins, especially for them ends. Because in God we trust, that's why we pray to it and die if we must. Then turn around and use it to roll up our weed where the dust getting high, licking the squeeze and bust.
I'm Africa, ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas. Whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas. Whoa, so I'm Africa, ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas. Whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas.
From the motherland or the diaspora, stop feeding these false fucking masters, force feeding disaster. The people planted grafters, lay foundation, raise the rafters. Every system, every religion, ask your pastors. I'ma ask my ancestors, here and after. Who chitter chatter, tell me follow bitter ballot on the alabaster bastards, colonized bastards, urging me to blast it with proper propaganda, faster to the war like plaster for concealing our divinity, culture and the liberty, disrupting universal symmetry, disgracing imagery of original epitome. Resources written literally, black women and man of land hold the code of the mystery of life through the history of strife, while delivery in sight. Starve invader, win attrition, win the fight, reclaim resources, replenish enemy life. Refrain from detours from source energy light. I'm African by name, blood and birthright. That's right. I fight by day and night.
I'm Africa, ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas. Whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas. Whoa, so I'm Africa, ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas. Whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas. You slow mo, 2 feet, pedal them bike slow. Me speed by 1 with 2 feet and then strike you on a cycle. Hop a wheelie and sun stealing again, but it's a sun charge for the Benjas. I'm on raw. Ancestors lessons with more crystals and diamonds. Wicked ones came with resources, so it's where to find them. Empire seeking the teeth and thinking we don't mind them. Still boy, we're not just mama Africa dry. No boy, cause I'm Africa, ancient descendant from Nubia, Benjas. Whoa, so make room for us. Either you do or you don't, we still go and come Benjas. Whoa, so I'm Africa, ancient descendant from.
Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio, a place where knowledge is born. It's your host, Knowledge Born Alive. We're here for a special guest, special request, fresh off his celebration day and Nature God body tour. You understand what I'm saying? I just seen him body a couple of stages, a couple of mics, still trying to recover from the onslaught of lyricism. In addition to that, I got one of the greatest examples of brotherhood, one of the greatest examples of manhood, one of the greatest examples of fatherhood, and one of the greatest examples of community outreach and action. I was blessed and honored by this group before it was a group, a super group, super collective. You understand what I'm saying? Masterful MC to come down and participate in the host capacity of the conscious costume party. You know what I'm saying? They love me enough to, to bring me out there to the place. You know what I'm saying? And it was on that day I met a young God that was dealing with some things, man. A young lion, a young warrior out here. Some of the things that we like to see in regards to it, and he was in a vulnerable space enough to ask for help, and I, unbeknownst to me, that the help was already being provided. You know what I'm saying, through this community outreach program. My brother Anray 360 in the Black Circle was working with the young man. You understand what I'm saying? So, well, we here to pay homage and owe in ascension. So, when I was building with my brother, I was like, ain't no way we couldn't have something, uh, you know, in a situation like this. So, honest to JC, long live to JC, honest to his family. We uplift you, and we have uh, you here in our hearts with us. You understand what I'm saying? So, it becomes an honor and privilege at this time to introduce some of the others. One I call brother. One I'm proud to call brother. One I'm proud to call avenger. One I'm proud to call comrade. Our brother Anray 360. Welcome, my brother.
Peace to the God, man. How you feeling, my brother?
I'm good. I was about to ask you about who they asking about us. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
the hoodie.
Yeah,
It's the hoodie.
he in there rummaging through the cabinets right now.
Word born. Yeah. Happy born day, by the way. You understand what I'm saying publicly. Um, I know this is real difficult for you, so take as much time as you like, to kind of walk us through how y'all met up. You understand what I'm saying, and some of the things going on as we, kind of overshadow this with Black youth in general.
Yes. Well, JC, as he's known to so many, his real name is Jeremiah Cunningham. Um, I believe I met him when he was like 16, and he was one of the youth out there. And I don't like to say troubled youth. He was just a youth. He was a young black male, you know, who, like so many of our young black males, are targeted by the system. They're put into a an environment, you know, that's injected with a bunch of ills, geared toward destroying them. A self-destructive culture, self-destructive music, I mean, an environment of self-hate that has been given to our people and that they have fallen susceptible to because of what's promoted through TV, what's promoted through the radio, what's promoted on social media. And I was fortunate to meet him at the conscious costume party that you spoke about earlier, that we was throwing annually, you know, to to celebrate black strength, black heroes and sheroes, past and present. And in the conscious costume party, our only ask was a request was that people come as somebody black and positive, that you honored or respected throughout time. And it could even be a black superhero, you know what I mean, for something, a positive figure, for black people. And that's why I was fortunate to meet him. His grandmom, Camilla, brought him there, and that was my first time meeting him. He was a young man who was caught up in the streets, and we decided to work with and try to help him out.
So honest to Queen Mother, Camilla, Camilla, for bringing him around in the space. I remember, what I'm saying, when y'all called on him, you know what I'm saying, and he came up and he was like, yo, he was trying to make a change in his life. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Creating an environment like that. We create an environment like that where our youth come. You understand what I'm saying? To be able to see what's going on. So him seeing
yeah,
us, that night, seeing everybody doing what they're doing, and that was something stand up, man. So, you know, um, if you don't mind a few moments that you shared with him, you know what I'm saying? Like, where was his mind at? Where was his heart at? Where was his intention that you could gather from, you know, these other interactions that we didn't see with him?
yeah. Well, he was a very good young man. And when I say very good, I mean he was a good soul. He was a good soul. He was like any other youth. He had dreams. He had aspirations. He wanted to do something with his life. Um, he was just caught up in an environment that was sick, and that was meant to rob him of his life. That was meant to rob him of his freedom. That was meant to rob him of his blackhood. But he was a fighter, and he wanted to to reclaim all of that regardless. When we brought him up on the stage and at the conscious costume party, it was introducing to him a new circle, a new world from what he was used to. He was used to being out there amongst a bunch of people that were just out there living life and living day to day. So the things that they did, um, they wasn't looking towards down the line. You know, they say uh, rich people plan for generations ahead, black people plan for the weekend, and our youth plan for even less than that. You know, just making it through the day. You know, they living in the moment, and they don't realize that a lot of their actions have consequences. But being around a bunch of positive black people like yourself, black elders who were bridging the gap between the old and the young, because there's a disconnect between the old and the young. And we got to bridge that gap. We got to make sure that we reconnect that so we can pass down that knowledge. We can pass down that information. We can pass down that wisdom and embrace them and let them know we're not separate. We are all one. Y'all, they are our continuation. You know what I'm saying? So him being able to see that, he came to my house. He spent the night. I had him in here juicing. He was working the juicer, believe it or not, yo. And he was trying to eat healthy. And he just was fighting a lot of demons out there where he was at, and in the environment that he was in. That he chose to a certain extent as well to hang in. You know, it was people that was out for they weren't out for any good concerning him, and they weren't out for his best interest. And you know, if you stay too long in a place where you're surrounded by that type of negativity, you either one day will become victim of it, or you will play a part in it that that hurts your freedom. And unfortunately, he fell a victim to that stuff.
So what we missing in regards to bridging the gap? Because you spoke on it. You know what I'm saying? You're out here interacting with younger people every day. You understand what I'm saying? Your own family dynamic, everything like that. So what are we missing? I know you got a real message. I know it's something real you have to say that's on your heart. You understand what I'm saying? So just
Hmm.
just let us know. Let us know the real deal.
Well, what I feel that we're missing basically is not just compassion, but understanding. We were all young too, and we didn't always think with these minds that we have, these fully developed minds that we have right now at this age level where that we're at now. When we were young, we were kind of wild too. We ran the streets. We were just trying to have fun, and we were living for the day. And we got to understand. And I like to use the word understand because we're not underneath nothing. Once you come to a knowledge of something, you either over top of it. You know what I'm saying? So you overstanding or you understand because all of that is within what you're going through, what you've been through. The experiences is what you hold within and what shape and will mold your inner thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So we got to, regain that compassion for our youth. What I mean, for each other as a family, old and young. And we have to have that understanding. And that's where we are lacking right now. And the youth, they have to be notified that we, see that we aren't their enemies because the system will try to play us against each other and make them think that we're their enemies. We're trying to rob them of their freedom when the system is really the ones really robbing them of the freedom of who they really are. The knowledge of who you are, because when knowledge is power. That's why you call this do the knowledge radio, because knowledge is power. You're bringing power to the people, through the airwaves. And knowledge is power. So with them being robbed of the knowledge of self or who they are, it's robbing them of power. And when you have power, you have freedom to move around as you want to because of that power, because of that knowledge. And they are lacking that. And we got to make sure that we get it back to them so they know who they are, who they connected to, what they are extensions of, and what they are connected to, so they can tap into what they're connected to, what they're extensions of, and use and utilize that power. You know what I'm saying?
Now another aspect that we spoke about is protection. How can we best protect the youth? And how and like what's sort of the transformation process of us that were young men, they got YNs out now. They're popularizing this term YNs, right? So
Hmm.
they're not young Nazis, right? So
Hmm.
uh with our arts and cultural aspects in regards to that, what's some of the things we could do in the protection space and the protection posture to be able to kind of foster righteous ideas and
I
righteous
think
identity for the young people.
I think one of the main things we need to do, like I said earlier, is reconnect. And that right there, okay, that right there, I'm not sure if y'all can still hear me or not because it's saying that we got a disconnect on the internet.
No, you
But
good. You
we
good.
got to reconnect. We got to know that in order to save the youth, in order to protect the youth like we should be doing, we got to reconnect with them first. You know what I mean? And we got to make sure that we know we have an obligation and we got to hold up to that end of our obligation to make sure that we fulfill it. You know what I mean? We have an obligation to embrace them, to not let them fall victim to what we know, is a danger to them or could be a harm to them. Just like we protect our youth in the house, our toddlers, don't go near the stove because you could burn your hand. We gotta protect our older you know young adults in the community um that's coming up behind us and teenagers that's coming up, under us, and let them know, watch out for this in the street. This is what they're going to try to do for you. This is what the system is trying to set. They're trying to set them up. We got to let them know about the traps because we done been through there. We done been around the block. We know what's around the corner. We know what's down the street. In a society that's anti-black. Let's keep it real. We live in a society that's anti-African, that's anti-black, and they definitely anti-black youth because the youth is the future. You know what I mean? So if they can kill them in the present, they can wipe out the chance of any strong future for our people. And that's what they're doing. So we gotta it's our obligation, you know what I mean, to make sure that we teach them what we know so that they know. And when they know, they are more equipped. That's how we can save them. You know what I'm saying? And be out there with them, interact with them. You know what I mean? As often as possible, be involved. Go out there and try to find stuff that they like that they are into. You know what I mean? And cultivate it artistically through our music, through poetry. Some of them might be painters or whatever, but we got to support them and get behind them and nurture everything that they have in them that's beautiful. You know what I mean? Especially giving them back brotherhood, sisterhood, um, and letting them know we know you're gonna make some mistakes. You know what I mean? And because you make a mistake don't mean we're gonna turn our back on you. No, we're gonna still be here for you. Once we give them that reassurance, that also is a form of protection because they know that they got somebody they can come home to. You know what I'm saying? My mom told me, soaring power to my mother who transitioned a few years ago. She once told me when I was in my young 20s, she said, I don't care what you go through in life and what you fail at. She said, you my horse. You can always come back to the stable. You know what I mean? And that gave me the courage to face anything, no matter what in life. And if I fail, it's okay. Get back up and get back out there because I always can come back to the stable. Knowing you got somebody that loves you like that, unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be there. As long as you ain't just recklessly out here, you know, acting crazy. Then you'll move with a little bit more sense of direction, a little bit more sense of self worth and purpose and responsibility.
Definitely, definitely. I'm gonna put up the GoFundMe. The links are in the chat everywhere that we
Mhm.
are, and all eyes on you. I'm gonna give you a few minutes. If you could have the young brother here right now, what would you say to him? What would you say, to his family, and what would you say to those young guys that's out here that's on this path?
Well, to him, I would tell him I love him, and I thank him for letting me into his life and calling me uncle. He would talk to me and call me uncle. He would tell me this straight little thugged out young boy would tell me I love you, uncle, on a regular basis, and I want him to know I thank him for giving me the opportunity to be a part of his life and seeing some of the development that he did make as he was growing and maturing. Um, and I want him to know that I'm always there for him. To his family, I want to say I'm there for y'all right now. They know how I feel about them. They know that we talked on a regular after everything happened. We talked on the phone for a while. I went over their house after working a long shift and hung out with them for a few hours and passed into the next morning and laughed and talked and a little weeping was going on as well. But I want his family to know that I'm with them. They have a GoFundMe as you see on the screen right now. Please go there and help this family as they try to give him a good send off. Um, we are a community, and we gotta act as one. You know what I mean? Them white people out here, they raising GoFundmes and everything else for these cops killing black youth in the whole nine, and these Karens and these hate crime race activists, you know what I'm saying, on moving against blacks and Africans globally. They raise money for them and support them. Let's support each other. Let's make this part of our culture daily, regularly, consistently. You know what I'm saying? So to the family, I love y'all, and to those out there, man, don't give up on your youth. Don't give up on your youth. You know what I mean? Support them, talk to them, communicate with them, connect with them, um, embrace them, and nurture them the right way. You know what I mean?
Well, definitely, definitely, definitely. I appreciate you, bringing this to my attention. I was scrolling through and I was like, hold up, yo, is that the same? Wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? And then I,
Hmm.
automatically thought of you, but I'm like, I wait for the moment. You understand what I'm saying? Wait for the moment and see what was
Yeah,
going on. You see what I'm saying? Because I remember that night, and I know how you are. You understand what I'm saying? You know how
yeah,
your brothers are. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm
exactly.
gonna make sure I highlight them and we make it happen. So definitely wanted to be a place. If we need to do this until the goal is raised, just let me know. You understand what I'm saying? So just ongoing. If the family want to come through and share their thoughts, I'm open to whatever is necessary to make sure we do what we need to do and make this happen. You know what I'm saying? Like if this takes one of those things for us to be, brought closer together, then all glory, all praises to the Most High, all praises to our ancestors. You see what I'm saying? To pull us closer together, to be a reminder. You see what I'm saying? From
Hmm.
life to life, because we don't deal with death. You understand what I'm saying? So from life to
Hmm.
life. So that send off and this ascension, we got another warrior on the other side in the cause for our liberation. You understand? For our rise
Yes.
and, a
Hmm.
protector of our youth. You see what I'm saying? Like, the
Hmm.
folks that got their own saints, this is one of our saints. You understand what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So,
Hmm.
uh, utilize this energy in a righteous manner, man. You understand what I'm saying? So,
I agree. I agree. And I want to say, too many of our youth are dying at young ages. Too many of our people are dying at ages that are just too young. When the old dies, the elder dies, we celebrate their transitioning because we know that, truthfully, we using the word die, but we don't really die. We just shed this earthly body, this earthly vessel, you know what I mean, that we are utilizing for this part of our eternal journey. But the youth, they shouldn't be shedding these vessels at this early age. It's a trap, you know, um, by the system. And I know a lot of people, that some of the people that I work with and different stuff like that, I mean, they are aware, but this conversation isn't had enough, and this is an all out attack on our people. You know what I mean, it's an all out attack on the youth, man, from every angle, through music, like I said, through radio, through the food that we eat. You know what I'm saying? Let alone through they attacking us spiritually, psychologically, physically. You know what I mean? Vibrationally, we getting hit from so many different angles, and it's important that we know that it's an attack. Just as aggressive as the enemy is, we got to be just as aggressive in making sure that we fight to defend against these attacks. We got to protect our youth. It's our responsibility to do so. And if we don't move accordingly, you know what I'm saying, we're going to see a lot more young people, young folk dying at ages that's just too young to be acceptable, you know what I mean, to our community.
before we wrap and I give you your final thoughts, I want you to take a moment to kind of remind people, with you and the super group, the super movement Benja's got going on as far as this music thing. You see what I'm saying? And the impact of the music creating the mantras for, psychological and psychospiritual restoration.
Um, Wow, the Avengers, I can't say enough about them. That's like you mentioned earlier, it's a powerful collective of a bunch of solo artists who decided to come together and utilize our talents and skills to and our put our purpose together or purposes together to join as one collective purpose to raise awareness to give music that's honoring our genre of music. First of all, you know what I mean, you give quality, you know, sound and music to honor our genre, but also honor our people, our ancestors, our people living with us in the present. You know what I'm saying? And those coming behind us. The Avengers, the super group is. Whew, we got 3 albums out that we done did, and it's crazy. It's intelligence put down in a poetic musical form. It's styles, it's delivery, in an energetic form. It's soul. It's soul. It's music that touches the soul and raises the vibration. You ever hear that good music that you just feel it in your heart and your soul, and it just makes you feel good, like that Earth, Wind, and Fire and stuff like that? The Vengeance got that. The Vengeance has that, and we got so many of us. There's so many other groups outside of the Vengeance, like OBFC. Um, Shout out to Che Black. You know what I mean? You know, with United Front and their brothers. It's so many of us. You know, let me shout out the Vengeance first of all. Mike Chambers, Sundiata the Great, the founder. Um, um, uh, my man Big Nell, Red Fidel, Ken Tex, Nubian Bear, Moon, aka Scorpius Ray, my brother Nick Nines. There's so many of us, and myself. If I forgot anybody, charge it to the mind, not to the heart. But yeah, it's a lot of good music, soulful music that we all do, solo wise, as well as, you know, as a group. And you need to check us out, Venjaz. That's VENJAHS. And you know, tune into some good music, some good quality music that's healing also, because music is supposed to heal too. Music is the highest form of vibration, and we communicate through music. We communicated since the ancestral days over the drums, you know what I mean, and playing the horns and different other things that we did, and you know, instruments we played on in the villages, and we've been doing that since the beginning of the time, and we still do that. We communicate through the drums. We communicate, you know what I mean, through the sounds of the horns, the saxes, the strings, and music that we make from the inner soul, our bodies, which are musical instruments as well. You know what I mean, let alone the spoken word that we give. Um, Tune in, because there's some good stuff out there that a lot of people are missing, and all of this music out here is a poison. There's some out here that's purposely created to you know what I mean, attack the poison. You know what I'm saying? To combat the poison, and that's what Vengeance embodies. And a lot of the people within the RBG movement, the Pan African movement, the you know, the pro black, we'll say, because everybody is an RBG, for pro black, pro African movement that are making music. We are making some real good music out there. You need to check in and tap into the underground.
All right, definitely. Like I said, you know, I'm here. I'm available. You just let me know what it is, and you know, we can set this up again and again until, you know, we reach the goal. Or whatever you want to do, my brother. You understand? Again, honest to you, honest to your family, honest to the legacy and the life of this young warrior god JC and his family. You know, prayers up, honors up, and protection up. You know, protect black youth at all costs. So I'll give you a chance for final thoughts and where people can reach you if they want to collab with you, or they want further information on what's going on.
Yes, yes. First of all, make sure y'all tap in and support Do the Knowledge Radio on YouTube, all the platforms, you know what I'm saying? Do the Knowledge Radio. He supports, you know, black issues, black conversations, positive black conversations, and has people on this on a regular basis. He supports positive black music, you know what I mean? And it's not all just hip hop. It's all kinds of black music, African sounds, you know, you know, soul, neo soul, you name it, R&B. He supports positivity within the community, and we need more of that. So support Do the Knowledge Radio, you know what I mean, and my man Knowledge Born, the host of Do the Knowledge Radio, please. And reach his Cash App as well to tap in, so you can keep getting more good material, good conversations, good music, you know, and have platforms like his. Y'all can reach me at Anray 360, of course, ANRAY 360. That's ANRAY 360 on any streaming platform. Spotify, Pandora, Tidal, iTunes, you know what I'm saying? Apple Music. Please support. Support the Venjaz, VENJAHS, you know what I'm saying? And their movement. And all of the collective that's a part of the Vengeance, Red Fidel, Big Nell, Sundiata the Great, or Son the Great. I'm not sure if I said Mike Chambers already, but definitely Mike Chambers, Nubian Bear, Kentex, and all of us who have projects out there and plenty of music out there that's good stuff for us. All of the singers and people from Westmore Drive, Abyss, and Cha Martin and all of them. You know what I'm saying? Red Storm, and it's a lot of people out there putting out good quality music, spoken word, and a higher vibrational frequency out there versus the negative stuff that's out there.
I see why he the illest on the microphone, right? You understand? He don't be playing out here. You understand what I'm saying? So I gotta catch him. I gotta catch him live, man. Catch him in motion. Yeah, so we're gonna close this out. I gotta get to another joint in a few minutes. But honest to you, like I said, honest to you, honest to your family, honest to Hootie, man. You know what I'm saying? Honest to Hootie. I seen him out there. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This black circle of black excellence. You know what I'm saying? And we'll be back sooner than later.
Yes, thank you for the platform. Thank you for the opportunity, bro. Much love for all you doing in the community. Yes.
So with that, I'm gonna say peace, y'all.
Peace and love.
My seeds, man, I put that on me. I make sure they gotta eat on the job, on the streets for my seeds. Young kings, young queens, RBG, red, black, and the green plant seeds. Now that's what I call my team, family over everything. I ain't never out of reach for my seeds. And that's how we gotta be, real ones follow me. Each one, teach one, plant seeds.
Microphone checking my status since I've been crowned father. I grind harder, a wife and 2 daughters. A righteous black God in that red, black, and green. That's balance for the beam, family over everything. I'm dropping seeds every chance I get, and then I watch them all grow, no magic trick. Sankofa, bruh, gotta put that on your platter. Don't care about what they say, we say black fathers matter.
When it comes to my seeds, gotta keep that real energy. Literally, every single day create memories. Figuratively, I orchestrate moves like a symphony. Vividly, I sit with these thoughts like epiphanies. Literally, can change the game and make history officially. My daughter never see me in a penitentiary, that shit to me. Cause all we got is us, all we got is trust. Every day I gotta rush, I don't believe in love. Man, I put that on me. I make sure they gotta eat on the job, on the streets for my seeds. Young kings, young queens, RBG, red, black, and the green plant seeds. Now that's what I call my team, family over everything. I ain't never out of reach for my seeds. And that's how we gotta be, real ones follow me. Each one, teach one, plant seeds.
I'm in the cut like a back street. I let my son ride shotgun while these other suckers take the back seat, and that's the only one that could pass me. Something heavy in my diaper bag, homie, you can match me. Riding down the avenues with the seat back. Who that? Diamondback, proud to be black, that's your daddy. Sitting clean in the rag seat, going hard for my committee and La Familia's mad deep. Black fathers,
Look, I'm from a spot where blacks get rejected. Selling dope and gangbang and get you well respected. Being a felon get you well neglected. Where the black fatherhood challenge was accepted. To show the youth a better route. Teach them right from wrong and what the benefits of life about. Don't get caught up in the streets, you can make it out. Put that on my soul, I'ma show my kids a safer route.
Man, I put that on me. I make sure they gotta eat on the job, on the streets for my seeds. Young kings, young queens, RBG, red, black, and the green plant seeds. Now that's what I call my team, family over everything. I ain't never out of reach for my seeds. And that's how we gotta be, real ones follow me. Each one, teach one, plant seeds.
Today I will conclude our talk on Father and his role. His role is so mighty as the head of his household. His role is so mighty in helping to build a nation that really we could talk all year.
You cannot go without this book, and let me explain why. Voices of the Diaspora, written by Knowledge Born Allah, takes you through countless and countless different blacks. From our scholars, our warriors, our great sisters, and even entrepreneurs. It speaks to the past, the present, and the future. There's even an action plan for us that are serious about businesses that we wanted to take on. Entrepreneurship is one of the first things that he speaks about. And if you're an avid reader, this is a 5-part series. So this is not only a great resource for ourselves, it's a great resource for us as parents. We can teach it and incorporate it into our lesson plans for our children.
Knowledge born. What's the science, baby?
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that? No more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to
motive
the
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.